draw our bird. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in the image. On layer 1 we're going to call this image. We're going to go to File, Import to Stage. We're going to bring in the picture of the bird that we have. So the bird's on bird.png. Click Open. Okay, so now we have our bird. You can resize it by clicking on the free transform tool, and you can drag in the bird to make it a nice decent size. Again, the bigger it is the better it is, but because you can always resize it later. But it's hard to go from small to big, then big to small, so I always try mine a little bigger. Make a new layer. We're going to call this layer Trace. We're going to lock the image layer. So before we start, we just have one frame 1. We have image, we have trace. We're going to click on frame 1 of the trace layer. You're going to use your brush tool. The stroke size is not a big concern. You can always adjust it as we go. I'm going with a size 4 stroke, and I want to trace my bird. And to save some time, I'm going to go a little quicker. It may not be artistically appealing, but at least you can move on from my steps once this is drawn. So here's my designs. Okay. Now you can hide the image of the bird, and you can start filling things in if you want to. So if you want to use the brown to fill in, you can do that. So I'm going to get the paint bucket. I get a brown to fill in my bird. So there's my brown, fill it in. So now I'm ready to animate it. Of course, again, you can spend more time making it look better. You can delete the image layer if you want to. You don't have to keep it in there. So you can delete the layer. Now what we're going to do is we want to convert this into a symbol. So I'm going to select the bird. I'm going to go to Modify, Convert to Symbol. I want to make this a graphic. You can call it bird if you want to, or you can leave symbol 1. I'm going to call it bird. Click OK. So now I'm ready to work on the bird. I will now double click on the bird. It takes me to a new window. You notice that there's a fuzzy thing over the bird, so now you know it's editable. I'm going to call this layer 1 body. And just a reminder, in case you're worried, like where are you? If you look in the upper left here, if you can see this arrow plus scene 1 and bird, that means you're inside the bird and you can make it do actions. So here's my body. I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to call it wings. Okay. I will select the body with my lasso tool of the wings. So click on the wings. I'm going to highlight it, select it. Okay. I'm going to go to Edit Cut. Edit Cut. I'm going to lock the body layer, click on the first frame of the wing layer, and then I'm going to go to Edit, Paste in Place. See, now there it is. So now if we check our layers, you notice that the body is there, and then the wing is on the other layer. Next thing, now we're gonna make the bird animate. So we're gonna, on your timeline, you're gonna select both frames, frame 2, right? You're going to press F6 on your keyboard, or you can right click and insert keyframe. It puts a keyframe there. We're going to resize the bird, the wing. So lock the body layer because we're not going to do anything to there. We're going to resize it by getting the free transform tool. Reduce the size of it. Put it in place down here. And we're going to repeat the steps for at least 5 frames. So press F6 again, or insert a keyframe, resize it some more, bring it down, put keyframes on both layers again, right click, insert keyframe, resize the wing some more, okay. Add another, right click, insert keyframe, resize it some more, put it in place, okay. And then this is what we have for animation if you look at it. The wing's gonna be flapping like this. Our next step, we're gonna select the 5 frames we have. You can do it for a lot more and be more. You can add more detail to it, but this will be a good starting point. We're gonna right click, copy frames. I'm gonna click on the next 5 frames to frame 10, and then I'm gonna right click and paste frames. Okay, paste frames is what you want to do there. Okay, and if we look at it, it's gonna be like, hey, wait, it does the same action. It just goes up to down and it repeats itself. For the last 5 frames, we're gonna select them. So highlight them accordingly. If you start here and you just drag across, you'll be able to select the 5 frames. Then you're gonna control click on this area. You're gonna reverse frames. Reversing them will change the order. And now when you play it back, you'll notice that you'll do the full formation where it kind of goes down and it flaps back out, down and back. Okay, that's my flapping sequence. And again, you can do it for 6 frames, 7 frames, it doesn't matter. I'm just doing it even 5 so it's easier for you guys to do. So the next one, I'm going to go, now, my next step is I'm going to go back outside the bird, back to my original screen, click on this back menu. So now I'm back into the original scene, original screen. I see scene 1 here. I still have my trace layer. I'm going to resize the bird. Okay. Make it the size I want it to be. And then now you're ready. You can do your animation. So when I click on frame 30, insert a keyframe. I right click in the center area. I can tell the bird I want to go fly across the screen. Then I can control click in the middle here, create a classic tween, and when I play it back, you'll see the bird flapping already. Press command return to see it on the exported mode, and that's what the bird's going to do. It has your animation. And now you're finished. You can bring this into another area.